Hello and welcome to the video as we have a look at a pattern, a checkmate pattern. And this one, I'm very fond of this one, and I have some fond memories of having used this trick. So I call this the poisonous pin, and it has to do with this pin right here. The pawn is pinned to the king, so that means that this pawn essentially is not protected. So white can utilize that by capturing the pawn with the queen and then taking on g7. So that's basically the pattern. When you have this, you take this this pawn that's not really protected because of the poisonous pin, and then usually after that you give checkmate. So at the base of it, it's a checkmate pattern because I think this is the most common form where you take the pawn and then you checkmate. We will see other examples where this pattern is used for tactical purposes. Like I said, I had very fond memories of this at one of my best success when I was playing as a youngster. I made the final of the Icelandic Championship, Icelandic Junior Championship, under 12, and during the preliminary rounds, which was held in Reykjavik, so there was a preliminary round here in Reykjavik and then in other areas of Iceland. And in one of the rounds, I was down 2 exchanges. But I managed to pull off this trick. Of course, there were a lot of pieces. I had pawns somewhere like here. But was basically losing the game. Managed to set up this trick. So it's definitely one of my favorites. Definitely. I also have a published game where I managed to pull off this trick. By published, I mean this combination was posted in one of the newspapers here in Iceland. And now, well, since we are talking about this deadly pin on the diagonal, we see sort of the contours of our pattern. And here I played the winning move, and obviously we want to open this diagonal to set up the threat of taking the pawn on h6, and I played the pawn to e6. And in this threat, the combination of this threat and this pressure decides the game for white. So my opponent in the game, he played rook takes e6. I took, and now if he takes with the bishop, of course he loses this one. But I took with the queen and missed my main idea, which was to take with the queen on h6, which I did. Now the funny thing was that I took on h6, and my opponent, he started thinking for like 2-3 minutes, and then he moved the king to g8. And I remember some of my friends were watching it, and they were kind of starting to try to hold back. And the thing was, after he played king g8, I sort of, took a glance, and I realized he hadn't seen he was getting mated. So he played king g8 and kept thinking. And I was also trying to hold it together, of course, just to show respect. But eventually, after not too long thought, I took on g7, and my opponent, he went like this. He just completely missed the mate. These things happen. Now I have some cool examples of this pattern. Let's see which one we want to have a look at. Let's have a look at Sao Xu against Victoria Melite. That's right here, and maybe you should flip it around because this is for black. It's black to move. And very often when we execute this pattern, there's some sort of tactic before we set it up. And here, that's precisely what happened. And Victoria with black found a devastating move here, which I'm sure you can find. Rook to h1. And the main idea, of course, is that if you now take the rook, we will utilize the poisonous pin, and we will take the pawn on h3. Pawn is pinned, as we know, and then we give the mate. In the game, white of course saw that, played king g3, but bishop takes g2 and things are falling apart. This will be taken no matter what, and Sao Xu resigned. Another very cool example happened in this game between Jürgen Mädler and Wolfgang Ullmann. And there, Mädler played a threatening move, rook c7, and let's turn it around again. Now we have some threats. The bishop doesn't have a lot of squares, but black had things firmly under control, and he played the move rook to e1. King has to go to h2, because if the knight moves, we take this pawn, utilizing the strong bishop. So king h2, and now the hammer blow, utilizing the poisonous pin, rook to h1. Now just like in the Victoria Gemelite example, if you take with the king, I will mate you on g2, utilizing the poisonous pin. But here there's an extra feature again. If the knight moves, there's this as well. So the rook, yeah, this is just mate. Sometimes this pattern can be used to gain material. And one example of that would be, I think this one, yeah. So it's white to move, and he played the move queen h5. Now that forces black's hand, and he has to play rook h6. Now we start to see that things are lining up. We have this pawn here, we have this rook here, but we need the king here, and that's easily accomplished by rook to h8. But fortunately for black, he's not getting mated. King g8 and queen takes g7, of course, gets mated. But in this case, we can interpose the queen. But that doesn't change the fact that we will lose the g7 pawn. And white went on to win this game. He's up a pawn here and has a dangerous distant pass pawn. My final example here will be this one. It seems like I had a better time finding examples for black. And in this one between Fabian Telleria and Juan Manuel Sosa Macho. Black to move. Again, black is under threat here. Checkmate threat, but we know how to deal with it. We will set up the poisonous pin and play rook h1. And that's what happened in the game. King took and queen takes h3, followed by queen takes g2. Checkmate. So that's my checkmate pattern for the day. Yeah, it's been a while since we added checkmate pattern and a pattern recognition video, and I promised Ola Rusanen that I would do that. So here it is. But now we keep going, and I think the next few videos will be will revolve around the Fischer World Championship, which is being played here in Reykjavik, Iceland. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.